right, hello again, everyone. Now we're back to our topic of freedom and economic order. If I recall, last time we were talking about the economic problem that every society faces and every person faces. That is, the resources on this earth are inherently scarce or limited. So that means, just to refresh our memory, that somebody has to make a decision about what to produce, how to produce it, and who gets it, the problem of distribution. And the chief difference between the two dominant economic paradigms of the modern world, so-called capitalism and socialism or planned economy, is right here at this point of who makes these crucial decisions, what to produce, how to produce it, and who gets it. We were discussing capitalism and how it contributes to the solution of the economic problem. Remember, what's the economic problem? How do we best use the scarce resources of this earth? And that would involve using them efficiently, not wasting them, and also using them to produce things that people actually need or want in their own subjective judgment. So when you cast the economic problem that way, we see that it is fundamentally a problem of knowledge. If anybody in the world knew exactly what the best use of resources was, what to produce, how to produce it, and what people actually need and want, all 7 billion of us, or even all 330 million of us here in America, we could just hand over the problem to that person or group of persons and let them solve it, and we could just sit back and relax. However, that is not possible. It never will be possible. No one can possibly acquire the vast and essentially dispersed knowledge that is relevant for rational economic planning. And the reason why capitalist societies that have adopted a market form of economic arrangement, the reason why they're so successful is because the market process allows us to acquire the necessary knowledge and information that is needed to make rational economic plans, to use our resources efficiently and in the service of the things people actually need or want. And how does it do that? Through we're tempted to say magical, but certainly wondrous system that we call the price system. We talked the other day about how every society has it, and the world at large, at any moment in time, has a particular scale, a relative price scale. We all know that a new Honda Civic costs more than a tomato, right? We know that Honda is relatively more expensive than a tomato. But all prices are, at any point in time, the relative price structure of a society is given. And now, as we'll see, it changes. And how is that relative price structure established? Where does it come from? We saw that it is nobody's deliberate, conscious construction. It's the unintended outcome of the actions of millions and millions and millions and even billions of people in their daily activities of buying and selling. Anytime any of us, anywhere in the world, participates in a market transaction, as I said, whether as buyer or seller, we are unintentionally, but definitely contributing to the formation of the relative price structure in a society, and then of course in the world at large. So how does this, and what is the price? Let's go back to this. A price, first of all, it's an unintended consequence of the daily activities of millions of people. We help, all of us, each of us individually and en masse, we form the relative price structure at any point in time. And we all know how to, and it's a language. The price system is a language. A price is an abstract symbol that condenses in one convenient, easy to read and understand form all the knowledge of all the participants, of all the people throughout the world who in any way bought or sold anything that utilizes the particular good or service. And that generates and yields its price. And we saw last time, we all know how to read price symbols, even as consumers and as producers. When a price goes up, it means one of two things. It means either there's an increase in demand for that particular good or service, or it's in short supply. As demand increases, price increases. As supply decreases, prices increase. Everyone in the world understands this. When a price is decreased, that means either demand has decreased for that good or service, or the supply is plentiful, there's lots of it, and so therefore the price has gone down. So prices give us the necessary information that we need to make rational plans. We know whether resources that we want to use are available by checking their prices. If the prices are very low, we know they are available, either because of low demand or high supply. If prices are high, we know they're not as readily available, and we should consume and cut back. And that's either because their demand has increased or the supply has decreased. So this universal language governs the allocation of scarce resources throughout the world via the activities of individual buyers and sellers. We saw last time how do buyers react when a price goes up? We tend to cut back on consumption. That's what we should be doing, because the high price indicates there's not enough to go around. There's been either an increase in demand or a reduction in supply. As producers of the same item, however, when the price rises, what do we tend to do? We tend to produce more because we're in business to make a profit, and if the price of what we produce goes up, our profits increase. So people are inherently motivated then to channel additional resources into the production of those goods and services where price is relatively high. But that's what they should be doing, because the high price tells them that either that demand has increased, people want more, or supply has been reduced and we need more. So in either way, as buyers and sellers, we are motivated by our own interest to do what we should do from the larger social point of view by following the signals and guidance sent out by prices. So the key element of a capitalist system is a freely forming and flexible price system. Now, that's why, as I mentioned at the outset of this series, is that the best name for so-called capitalism, it's also called the free market system, the free enterprise system, the market process. The very best name is, as the greatest of scholars call it, it's the price system, to highlight the key and indispensable role of a freely formed relative price structure in society. Now, all that is the theoretical framework, but let me give you, I think in this case, a concrete example is probably the best way to convey how the market helps contribute to the solution of the economic problem. So I'm going to give you an example and sort of bear with me as I go through it step by step. And I will do that slowly because I have learned that a lot of economic errors occur because people tend to generalize or abstract too much. You know, this is why you'll notice I haven't used things like graphs or terms like supply and demand all that often and so forth, because those abstract terms tend to obscure the actual concrete situations that are occurring on the ground. And so I want to go through this slowly and give you a blow-by-blow, day-by-day example of how the market and the price system help contribute to the solution of the economic problem, a solution which all of us rely upon for the fulfillment of all of our needs and wants. Okay, so play along with me here in this sort of hypothetical model. Let's just presuppose, put aside disbelief, just play along with this scenario. Let's suppose that tomorrow morning we all wake up and suddenly we start hearing the news, and there's big news, and people will hear the news differently. Some will hear it right away, others it'll trickle down through, but eventually it will come out to the general public. But the new news is this. Play along with me. Science has finally, after thousands of years, discovered the fountain of youth. They really have. And guess what? They have discovered that the fountain of youth is orange juice. And if you drink 8 ounces of orange juice a day, you will live to be 130 with the vigor and beauty of a 20-year-old. Now, bear with me. Let's pretend that that actually is now established scientific fact, for real, all right? Not fake news or anything like that. It really is true. That's a significant piece of new knowledge that is now entering the social process. And it's going to have powerful economic effects. Now, how's that play out? Let's go through this step by step. What's the first thing that's going to happen tomorrow morning as people start coming across this new discovery? Some people hear it on the early morning news, others on all the way that we get news nowadays through the various media. But people start, so little by little, it will start spreading out into the community. So let's say I'm here in West Palm Beach now. So let's say here, let's see what happens here in West Palm. People start hearing this. Now you can imagine what's going to happen. There's going to be a sudden and unexpected increase in demand for orange juice. People are going to start going to Publix, Walmart, Costco, wherever orange juice is sold, and they're going to start buying orange juice. Now, these retailers, Publix and Walmart and Costco and all the others, they didn't know anything about this new discovery any more than anyone else did. So they have in their stores their standard supply of orange juice that they sell every week and that they order based upon history and other things. But now suddenly all these people are coming in and buying orange juice, and the orange juice is flying off the shelves. So what? So the people who work in Publix go back into the stock room and they keep bringing more orange juice out to replenish the stuff that's been sold. And people are pouring in and buying this orange juice and so forth. And in the short run, what will happen? Okay, let's say, now there's two possibilities. In the short run, the answer is the price of orange juice will rise. Now, how's that happen? Okay, so the people are coming in, a whole bunch of people to buy the orange juice. And there's a big crowd up there watching. And so let's say there's a big line of people who want to get the orange juice. And of course, it'll probably be the older people who will want to buy it right away. It's more important than when you're 60 than when you're 20, right? So they'll want to get a hold of this orange juice as soon as they can. So a line forms, let's say, and people see ahead of them that the orange juice is selling quickly, and they're afraid they're not going to get theirs. It's going to be gone before they get up there. So maybe one of the buyers has the idea. He says, "How much is the orange juice?" $5 a gallon. He says, "Well, I'll give you $10. I'll give you $10. He wants it today, now. He doesn't want to wait. And so he offers more money for that orange juice. Seller has no reason to say no. And so we see there's an upward pressure on prices that can come from buyers bidding more for it than the asking price. It's one possibility. Another possibility is that the seller, the people who keep restocking the orange juice, they finally figure out something's going on here. Every time we bring orange juice out, it's gone in 10 minutes. Maybe we should, next time, let's mark the price up a little bit and see if we can get more for it. So the price will, again, tend to rise, but in this case, it comes from the seller side. The seller marks up the price to see if they can be able to sell it at the higher price. In short, in either case, whether it comes from the buyers or from the sellers, what will happen at the end of the day is that the price of a gallon of orange juice at the retail level, Publix, Costco, will have increased. Ceteris paribus, it's an economic term, a Latin term for all other things remaining equal. An increase in demand leads to an increase in price. But that's how it happens, either by buyers bidding up the price or sellers raising the price. Okay, so that's the end of day one. Now remember, this is happening not just at Publix, but at Walmart, Costco, CVS, and any place else that sells orange juice gallons. All right, so let's take Publix though. So at the end of the day, what has happened? All the orange juice is gone, it's been sold, and it's been sold at a higher price than Publix originally expected. They've made a profit, a windfall profit, more than they expected. Of course, they don't keep, so what do they want to do at Publix? They're in business to make a profit, so they want to do it again. So what would they do? They want to order more orange juice to see if they can do the same thing tomorrow. Well, Publix doesn't make the orange juice. We have a very complex chain of production in a developed market economy. We have retailers, wholesalers, distributors, the factories themselves, and all kinds of things. There's all kinds of different firms are involved in bringing something like a gallon of orange juice in a plastic jug to the shelves of Publix. But so Publix wants to make more money. So their stock is empty. They've made a profit for that, an extra profit for that day. So they're on the phone to their suppliers, to the wholesalers or the distributors. And the wholesaler, they're in the business. They will buy massive amounts of a product, let's say orange juice, and they then sell it to all the individual retailers. Right? That's where the retailers get their supply from, the wholesaler. So what's happening? On day one, we saw the retail price of orange juice went up. On day two, suddenly the wholesaler is getting all kinds of unexpected phone calls and orders. Now, Publix and Walmart and Costco and CVS are all calling the wholesaler to order more orange juice. There's a sudden increase in demand for orange juice at the wholesale level. Well, what happens then? What's the wholesaler do? In the short run, once again, the wholesaler has a limited amount of orange juice. He can't just magically snap his fingers and get all the orange juice he wants. So let's say, and the retailers know that. So the retailers, if they want to be sure they get some of the orange juice, they might be motivated to offer more for the orange juice than the regular asking price, to be sure they get it. In that case, the action of the buyers, once again, will put upward pressure on the price of wholesale orange juice. Alternatively, the seller himself, the wholesaler might realize, oh my goodness, I'm getting all these orders, I don't have enough to go around, why don't I raise the price, see if I can, and so he raises the price of the wholesale orange juice. In either case, whether it's from the buyer or seller side, at the end of day two, the wholesale price of orange juice will have increased. Now what's happened at the wholesalers? He's made a windfall profit. He's made a lot more money than he expected to. But suddenly he was able to sell his entire stock at a higher price than he was the day before. Now he's in business, like the retailers, to make a profit. So what's he going to do on day three? The wholesaler is going to start calling his suppliers. Let's just say, for the sake of the argument, that he buys it directly from the people who specialize in bottling the orange juice. Maybe they buy the concentrated pulp, they mix it with water, and they put it in the plastic bottles, let's just say. So he calls the orange juice bottlers on day three. He and all the other wholesalers, not just here in Florida, but all over the country and probably eventually all over the world, are calling the factories that bottle the orange juice, and they are ordering more than they did earlier. And so now on day three, there's a sudden increase in demand for the bottled orange juice. And in the short run, there's a limited supply, just like at the retail and wholesale levels. So the people at the factory, they're getting all these additional orders, and maybe some of the wholesalers will offer more for the existing orange juice than others because they want to be sure to get it today and not wait. Or the bottler himself will realize that the supply is running low, he has all this demand, all these orders, and he himself will raise the price. You've guessed it. So by now, on day three, the price increase has now moved on to the level of the bottling industry, the firms who bottle the orange juice. At the end of the day, they're sold out, and they've made an additional windfall profit. They're in business to make a profit. They want to do it again. So on day four, the people who bottle the orange juice go to their supplier. Maybe the people who actually crush the pulp and make the orange juice concentrate. On day four, the same exact process is occurring. An unexpected increase in demand for the product. In the short run, it's in limited supply. So either the buyers will put pressure on the price of the orange pulp, the concentrated orange pulp, or the factory owners themselves will raise the price of their product in the short run. Day four, this whole process now has moved to the people who make the concentrated orange pulp. At the end of the day, they've made additional profit. They want to make more, so on day five, they go to their suppliers, which let's just say, so we can bring this process to a close, let's just say to the people who actually grow the oranges, right, the orange growers. So on day five, the orange growers are suddenly getting all these unexpected orders, the huge increase in demand for the actual oranges. In the short run, of course, they have a limited supply. Oranges, they do grow on trees, but it takes time, right? So the orange growers on day five are getting this unexpected increase in demand for their product. So some of the firms might offer more for the existing supply because they want to be sure to get them now rather than wait, so they'll put upward pressure on the price of oranges, or the grower himself might realize he has all this unexpected demand. Let's try raising the price and seeing if I can get more for it, and so forth. But anyway, on day five, what's happening now is that the price of the raw oranges has increased, and the orange growers have made an unexpected windfall profit, more than they had earlier expected.